What's going on, guys? We have a great video planned for you. We're going to take a look at the Indian Mini Bike here in just a second, but the reason that these bikes are important to me is because my grandpa actually had a used car dealership. He had slot tracks, and he also sold Indian Mini Bikes as well as Arctic Cat Mini Bikes. This Mini Bike sign behind me is the sign that hung in his dealership in the early 70s, and you can see that he sold Little Indians. Now, the bike that we're going to take a look at today is not a Little Indian, it's an Indian MM5a, but the Little Indians were the teeny versions you can see here on the sign. Now, the mini bike that we're going to take a look at today, I believe, is a really special bike. So what we'll do is get on the road so you guys can check that out right now.
How you doing, guys?
Good. You must be Dallas.
Dallas, yep. How you doing, Parker?
I'm doing good. Oh, you didn't tell me you had that.
Yep, that's my 1970 Charger. I picked that up in Baltimore for about a year now.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Good. I'm Parker.
I'm Justin.
Nice to meet you, Justin. Actually, I believe we've spoke before.
Yes, we have.
Communicated through Facebook
Yep,
a few
yes.
times.
Yes, we have.
Before the YouTube channel.
Oh,
Yes.
Yep.
I've seen the stuff that you guys have put on there, and I guess you guys
Yep.
have seen the stuff that I
Yep,
put
we
on
stay
there.
tuned with your videos.
Yes, we see a lot of your stuff.
Awesome. So what can you guys tell me about this car?
Well, we found it on the internet. The guy had a picture of a Matchbox car on Marketplace.
Okay.
My brother got a hold of me that night and said, "Hey, get on this, see what we can get, see what's up with it." So we jumped on it and we called the guy up. He said, "Hey, what's up with the Charger? Can you give us some any info about it?" He's like, "Well, we bought it a few years ago. It's in nice shape. It's in, you know how things go.
Yeah.
Oh, it's all right shape." But we get down there and it was back in his weeds behind his house. I had to move 4 different cars just to get to the car with my rollback. So we got it out and he's like, "It'll start up." And I'm like, "Yeah, okay." Just pulling out. He's like, "I'm telling you." He went, put a battery in it, got the can of gas, put it in the carburetor. Sure enough, boom, fired right up first try.
Really?
I was like, wow. So we got down to talking. I'm like, "Well, what would you want for the car?" And he said, "Well, 12.5 would take it home." I'm like, "Well, she's in a lot rougher shape than what you said about over the phone, you know what I mean?" I was like, "What is the best price you could do today?" And he's like, "Well, I couldn't go no less than $8,000. I'll meet you at seven grand." And he said, "Well, 75, let's make a deal." And I wasn't going to complain over $500.
Right.
So we got it out and I loaded her up and we brought it home and we parked her here, and this is where she sits until, we get time to
Mess
get her
around
in.
with
You
it a
mind if
little
I
bit.
take a look at it?
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, looking at it, obviously you could tell it's kind of rough, but to
Yeah.
the people that don't know, $7,500 for this Charger is cheap.
Yes.
Yes.
Very,
most
very
certainly.
cheap.
Yes.
I mean, to me, we'll kind of look at it more in depth here, but to me, it's looking like probably like a $15,000 to $20,000 car.
Yes.
Oh, here.
I see your page. How many Chargers have you bought over the time?
I've probably in my life have owned, I would say probably about 15 to 20.
Wow.
In the last year, I've probably owned about 5.
Wow.
I kind of go through spurts. Like I'll find like a Charger, and then like I'll get phone calls or people will message me or see stuff on Facebook, and they'll be like, "Oh, I have another Charger. Do you want to buy this?"
Yeah.
And they'll like offer them to me and stuff.
Yeah.
But recently, I've been having really good luck with Charger. There's a guy overseas that buys all of them. Either that or the people just want to make resto mods out of them.
Yes.
Of course, this is a 70, and it is a 318 car. And yeah, you can see it has a G right here on the VIN. Nothing too crazy, just a base car. We did a video on Charger 500s the other day. This is a 70, so the 500 is basically like a trim package. If this was a 69 Charger 500, it would have the flat glass in the back, kind of like the Daytona Chargers with the cone and the wing on the back also. Now, what really makes these cars worth money is the condition. So I would say pretty much any Charger that's like looks like a Charger is worth anywhere from about $7,000 to $10,000, but the quality of the metal is what probably is going to make this car worth more than that. Is there a key to the trunk?
Yes.
Yes.
Boy, it's hot out here. But really what I look for these cars, obviously this one doesn't have a trunk in it. That's why the mat is here, and that's usually what happens. But what's what I look for is the metal underneath here in the sail panel. If we can shoot up in there, because that's where all the water comes down from the windows and then sits in. And then a lot of times you'll find a car that's nice, but
rotted out.
but this metal structure under here is completely all rotted out, and then that's very difficult to replace. You don't even see that on
You're
the
on the money, because we looked at a few that were exactly rotted out like that, right underneath there. And I always asked him, I was like, wonder why.
Yep.
Is it just a default from, you know?
It's just the way they were. It's just the way they were made. Yeah, I mean, they have long back ends. Some people think that the trunk rusts out because they sit outside, and a lot of times the back end sits like outside of the carport, and so the water gets in. So that's just a lot of things with these cars, and the metal's thin on them too. But I mean, this car doesn't look that bad. It was a vinyl top. Of course, we can see the chrome here, but it looks like the vinyl top was probably taken off like a long, you can see it's like kind of cooked in there, but it looks like it was taken off a long time ago. It's not like rusted out or anything.
Solid
like
roof
that.
too.
It's a solid roof, yeah. So this is a bench seat on the column car. You didn't really get any good gauges or anything in there. Just a average daily driver.
Yep.
70 Charger.
Yep.
What are your guys' plans with it? Is it for sale or anything, or?
We were planning on restoring it.
Okay.
We've always been infatuated with the Fast and the Furious.
Mhm.
You know, the blower sticking out of the hood. You know, who wouldn't? You know what I mean? Everybody.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, everybody sees that movie. It's like the icon.
I've
car.
regretted every Charger I've ever sold,
Believe me.
and every Cuda. You know,
Yeah.
there's only
Yes.
a couple Camaros that I've regretted selling, but Mopars,
He loves them Cudas.
Yeah.
oh man, dude,
They're awesome
they're
cars.
Cool. They're really cool. So you're gonna do like a black with a blower on it or
that's-
something?
I got a 671 supercharged motor, fully restored, ready to be dropped in something. So that's the plan.
I would daily drive it like this.
Oh yeah.
That's what a lot of people has been saying.
But yeah, we live in a small town, so it's like, you know, from stop sign to stop sign, I think it'd be pretty bad, you know.
It's got like the Joe Dirt kind of. Oh, it's got
Yes.
Exactly.
It's got
Yes.
Craigers on it.
Yes.
Yeah, those are pretty cool.
And we got a clean title with it too.
What does the underside look like? Is it pretty
It's-
rough underneath there?
On that side over there, it does need some work underneath, but
We can take a look underneath here because the carpet's in it. Usually I don't find them with carpet in it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but right here's where you want to look as well. The torque boxes in this area, you can see it's got a little rust right here, but as far as like structural goes, this stuff it's pretty, you know, it's one of the nicer, for being in a field with weeds and everything like that. You can take a look at the rockers the whole way back. They're not like shot or anything like that. It
I
just
think
looks,
the trees honestly saved it.
the tree saved it.
Yeah. Sitting under the trees.
It just looks like a Charger that just needs some love.
Yeah.
It does.
Exactly.
And we're here for the mini bike though. Is that
Yes. I have that up in the garage.
Okay, awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys kind of taking the time and
Yeah,
showing us everything
Yeah,
that
no
you
problem.
have here. So this one's not for sale currently.
Not at the moment.
Yeah,
Not
not
at
at
the
the
If it ever
moment.
does come for sale, we'll
You'd
get you
probably be the first
shot.
one to let you know.
Awesome. All right, cool. Well, we'll shut this and go see what else we can find.
Up here, Parker, we got the mini bike up here, the Indian.
Where'd you guys get this thing at?
We picked it up in a barn. We were called there to go tear down the barn, buy the wood and all that, and there was a few mini bikes and dirt bikes, and I figured this one would have been the one worth saving.
Oh
Something
my
you don't
goodness.
see too much.
Look at that thing.
Still got most of the color on it.
What saved it was at the back of the barn where, like, you know, nothing was around it, nothing, you know, it was tarp was over it.
Yeah. Do you guys know anything about these really at all, or?
Not if you could give us some knowledge on it, that'd be great.
So they made these in two different versions. They made these from about 1970 to about 1976. And you can help me kind of flip it around here.
Yeah.
We'll see exactly what version this is. Okay, so this is the secondary version, or the second version, and I'll show you here. On the first versions, you kick backwards to start the bike.
Wow.
Okay.
That's different.
This version, it kicks down, and that's how you start the bike forward. This has obviously been replaced. It does have the original back fender on it. The gas tank's original.
I believe it's missing a front fender.
Yeah, no, you're right. It doesn't have the front fender on it. The first version would have different forks on it. They would have, I believe, like a 3-piece fork. This one has a 6-piece fork. And then...
Is that the factory seat?
This... No, so this seat would have said Indian on the back here. It's not here. Okay. And then I believe it would have been pleated, as far as like it would have gone a couple inches and there would have been a seam that kind of ran across back here. Yeah. Also, these bikes were not made in America. See, the guy that sold these, or the guy bought the rights to the Indian name and then started selling mini bikes, and this bike was actually made over in Italy. And if you look on the cover right there, you can see that it is in Italian. Mm-hmm. I'm not exactly sure what that says. But the first versions of these, like the early versions that would have been like 69, 70, 71, they would have had like a chrome cover right here so you don't burn your leg. This one would have been just like a black cover. It wouldn't have been chrome.
So it's missing something right here.
Yeah, it is missing that. And then it's also, like I said, it's missing the front fender here. You can see let's see if we can get the VIN number. You can get the VIN number right there.
Are these the original tires?
Well, I don't know what tires came on these bikes originally.
That'd be cool if they were.
But Pirelli is an Italian-made tire, and if you read that, it says Pirelli right there. So, I mean, wow. I'm sure so they probably are originally. Wow. And the ones that I've seen that are restored that have different tires on it, they don't say Pirelli on there at all. So they could possibly be the original, the original tires on this bike. The reason I'm holding it up is because it wants to lean back at me here. But a lot of times when you see these bikes restored, they don't put the stripes. This has the stripe above and below the Indian.
Right here is the pinstripe too. I like that. That was pretty, gives it that 70s air.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And a lot of times people repaint the Indian logo. This is actually a sticker, a decal that's on here. And those are probably pretty hard to find, so people just kind of hand paint that on. But these bikes, they weigh about 50 to 60 pounds. They were designed for anyone that was about 3 to 5 years old.
Yes.
And they did come with training wheels. In other words, they would have, I don't know if they would have bolted on here or up here, but you could still kind of like lean the bike like that a little bit and ride down the street.
If you were going to look at a bike like this in the shape, non-running, what's it worth?
Well, what do you guys want to sell it to me for?
Well, that's the trick question. Yeah. What's it worth?
I saw one sell at Mecum Auction last weekend. I also saw one sell in person 2 years ago at Mecum Auction. The one color was purple, and I believe that one 2 years ago I think brought about $4,500 plus buyer's commission.
Non-running.
No, it was a restored.
It
was a restored bike.
Yeah, still that's
the one that I saw sell last weekend was also a restored bike. However, they were purple and they were blue. And when I think of Indian, I don't think of purple or blue. I think of red, or like probably was an orange. It's kind of faded into a red. So I personally think that makes this bike a little bit more desirable because you can kind of see what you're starting with, and it does have everything it looks like here. We'll see if we can flip it around again. I've also seen one sell for $9,500, and it was red, but that was during COVID when stuff was going
the pandemic.
When stuff was going crazy. We'll see if we can flip it around.
No, I guess it did have a light right there too, or what was that?
No, not a light. You can come back around this way. That would have had the where your number plaque would have went.
Oh, okay.
Like you've seen not old dirt bikes, but when they race dirt bikes or whatever, you know how they have the numbers on the side and everything. That would have had the number plaque here. But I mean, it looks like all of the handlebars. I'm not sure if those grips are original, but they look original to me. And there would have been a chain guard that would have covered this piece right here. That's missing. And then it also would have had a cover that went over here with the Indian Head logo as well. So there are some pieces missing. I don't know how expensive those pieces are to find, but I was just gonna hang it on the wall. I mean, what do you guys, what do you guys
perfect wall
think?
ornament.
That'd be perfect.
I think I'd probably spin it the other way, maybe have it so the exhaust is sticking out.
Yeah.
Or it just depends on what side of the Indian
Yeah.
the tank looks the
Which
best.
side looks the
But
best?
as far as like a wall hanger, I'm 6 foot, you know, this is meant for a 3-year-old.
Yeah.
I can probably sit on it, but as far as like
Having any
being
power
fun,
wise.
yeah, I'm not sure if it would be like
Yeah.
that great of a time. But I don't plan on restoring the bike or anything like that. I mean, it's got the original Pirelli tires on it.
Man cave thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For sure. Well, I mean, what do you guys want for it?
Well, we watch your channel, and we're happy to see guys like us still out there doing it. So if you're using it for a man cave item, I'd be happy to just donate it to you.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you.
No
I
problem.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much. Well, we'll get that out here in wow, dude, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I really appreciate that. What is this, by the way?
Well, we picked this up about 5 minutes in the road in Newport, our town Newport here.
Small town.
Small town. Older gentleman owned it. He picked it up.
Does it open?
Yeah,
Yes.
it opens. He picked it up down in York out of...
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah, it's heavy.
It's very heavy.
Look
It
at
was
that.
in an old store he got it out of, and he had it out for a yard sale, and I pulled in one day, and he said,
Oh,
"What would you want
man.
for it?"
How heavy do you think these doors are? 200 pounds a
Yeah,
piece?
200 pounds a piece.
At least.
Does it have, oh yeah, you can see it says York Safe and Lock Co.
And they open in there, and then it's got the keys inside, and
Let's hear that again. That was like, oh,
old
man.
school right there.
Yeah, dude.
Yep.
Oh look, there's money in it.
Oh yeah. Yep. Cool.
And where would this have, like, was this like a bank piece? Or
I think it was a bank piece. Yes.
Yes.
Yep.
is it for sale?
Yeah. Yeah. I would sell it.
What's something like this go for?
$500 would take her home.
$500? Is it worth that in scrap?
Oh, I'm easily. Yes.
Probably.
Dude, look at that bike.
That is.
Isn't that just a cool?
That is.
That's just really cool. We're not even talking about the Camaro here, of course.
Yeah,
it's,
forgetting about the old school. This one's actually a very sentimental piece to us.
okay.
This was my dad's first car when he was 16. It's a 69 Camaro, original true SS car.
Uh-huh.
12-bolt rear. I do have the factory console for, in the middle here. It's just another thing you know how they are in the 80s and 90s. They get the cars and they got to paint them with the racing stripes. They take their motor out and put their motor in.
They were just cars back then.
Yeah, exactly. So not knowing what they are today.
They got the center lines, Parker.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I saw that. I saw that.
Again.
I mean, to be honest with you, when you buy and sell project cars like me, you get really familiar with 80s wheels.
Yes.
Yes.
You know, because
Yes.
it's like every single car I buy
like
gets
the-
center lines
Or pizza cutters.
they get or weld wheels on
The
them.
welds, yeah.
And I always sell them. People buy these
Yes.
still. They do.
Yes,
They work.
Yep.
Exactly.
They're just light. They're super light. And I see that you guys got a bunch of cats over here. Jesus.
Oh yeah, see, me and him are into junk cars. We buy junk cars like every day. We try to bring in 20 to 25 cars a week,
So you
every
guys
2 weeks.
Find
Try to,
some pretty
keeps
good
us
stuff
busy.
then.
yes. And we're into rental properties heavy. Between me and my dad and him, we got 45 rental properties. So it's
So it is a no, it's a V8 car. 1243. Nope.
yeah, we can pop the hood.
Wow, you guys got a bunch of rental properties. That's pretty cool. I'll help you. Here,
You want to grab that? Oh, so this one's already off.
there we go. Now you were telling me that you think that this is a super sport car.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
That's what my dad said it is. I never actually ran the numbers, but isn't it the SS an X44 or an X11?
So on a small block car, which it doesn't have a big block heater box, it would be a X11. And it does have the X11 back there. You can see that. But what also would make this a super sport car is it would have the 12-bolt rear end, and then
disc brake all the way around.
it does have 2 fuel lines. I can see it from here. You see how there's 2 fuel lines, a send line and a return line, right there. That would have been specific. If any other car was a X11, it would have only had 1 fuel line.
Okay.
So because this car has 2 fuel lines, they don't look like they've ever been messed with. We can say that it possibly was a super sport. You can't say that for 100% with an X11 unless you have like the paperwork from the dealer. But it should also have the doubler plate for the dual exhaust behind the rear wheel. So we'll take a look at that right now.
Man, I never knew that about the second
The fuel line?
fuel line.
Yeah, that's a pretty easy way to tell.
You know. Never knew it.
You like?
I don't need a light, but yeah, it's back there. I can feel it. So I don't know on camera. We have a bunch of videos that kind of go over all this, but you can see that there's a plate. You see the plate back there with the nut on it? Oh, shit. All right, you see the plate back there with the little nut on it? That holds the dual exhaust for the super sport car. So the dual fuel lines with the doubler plate on it, it doesn't look like that one's ever been messed with. Does it have a 12-bolt still underneath of it? Or?
No.
That's been replaced?
Yeah, well, when my dad bought the car,
Okay.
he,
That's typical.
the guy that had the car wanted the rear end out of it.
Because he had another 69 SS.
So that was the deal. He put a 10-bolt in it, but it had a 12-bolt in it.
And then X11 would have also, of course, Super Sports would have got the gills on the side, but it would have had the chrome here. And then the taillights, I noticed that when we lifted the hood, there was no springs. We could have counted the springs. It would have had the Super Sport hood on it, and it would have 28 springs in there, but they're gone. But this would also have the, you see how it has the little chrome pieces right here for the taillights? So that was a part of the appearance package. That would have been on the.
I didn't know that.
That would have been on the Super Sport car for the 350 as well.
It was blue with white racing stripes, factory.
Well, it wouldn't have had white racing stripes because that was only found on the Z28 cars. It would have had probably.
So it was just all blue.
It was blue, and it probably would have had the hockey stripe that went down the side.
Yep.
Oh, yep.
Yeah, it wouldn't have had these. See, these are they're stripes, but they're not done correctly, of course, you know. But those would have only been on the Z28 cars. They were on a few special paint cars and the pace cars also. Okay. But yeah, I mean, I have a couple buddies that have found Camaros also, and their cars are blue with blue. You know, very common.
I like the blue. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't bother me at all or anything, and. I mean, I would ride this Camaro just the way that it is right now.
I actually, it was sitting at my other garage in town there. I rent a garage. It's full of some toys. And I brought her home here. Just
take a peek inside?
Yeah. No brakes. Drove her home like it was no big deal.
Now, I'll be honest with you. This Camaro is very clean.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as far as like under the engine bay, when we took a look at under there, like the radiator support was clean. The inner fender wells were clean.
For about
20 years.
I'm 26, so about 25 years.
I can tell. The reason I can tell is because right in here,
yeah,
like this is not. See, the water comes in here
and then runs down
and then sits right here.
And rots
so a lot of the Camaros that I find, the rockers are rusted out right here in this corner, and you can take a look at that one. Yeah. I mean, that one's pretty.
You're on the money because my cousin, she has a '69 Camaro, and it's rotted out both sides exactly right at the bottom.
Yeah,
right
I bought a lot of them, man. Yeah. But yes, this was not a late built car because the door is not a late built door. But I mean, overall.
What's the late built door? How do you tell that?
It would have a sticker, and it would just be built. It would be different in here. That's for like a car built after August of '69. Those are like the last ones that were made.
Okay.
Just something that like when I'm just looking at stuff,
you know,
I
pick up on. More information that we would know. That's great.
Yeah, no, it looks like it has the original blue interior in there. Just Yeah, really, really nice car to start with, man. If you were going to restore one, this is like what you would want to start with,
Yes.
for sure. Pay the money to find something like this than a complete rust bucket that you
I'm
have
not
to
into
replace.
the rust buckets nowadays. I've done them, but I like getting in and starting that key and going.
I think it depends really on like what you're trying to build.
Yeah, like if it was like your dad's car, that thing. But like if you're
Sentimental
just going
value.
out sentimental value. But
Sure.
if you're just going out to try to start with something, you should start with something that's there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you want to,
All depending on what you're doing and the situation, what it is.
I think if you're going to do like a resto mod car, you're probably going to cut all the metal up anyway on the car. But if you're going to just take something like this and probably, I'm guessing,
swap it, the daily drive.
Yeah.
Right here's what I'd start with.
Yeah, absolutely. You just put a new motor in it and
go.
Yeah, basically
Have
that's
fun.
about it. Cool. Well, what is this car right here?
That's this man right here.
That's a 68 Beetle Parker.
This is your car, Dallas? Yep. Okay.
Pretty solid.
Forgive me, Dallas.
I got it.
I don't know anything about
Yeah.
68 Beetles.
I got it down in Harrisburg from a guy who was selling it. He was going through some health issues.
Okay.
And I picked it up for $1,800. And it runs and drives. I put it away because it's hard finding the 68s because everybody wants the Super Beetles. Because the Super Beetles are more of a cheaper bug.
Okay.
Because they have like the plastic dashes and all that other like cheaper metal and stuff on the Super Beetles.
Now, did they make Super Beetles in 68?
Super Beetles, they came after like 71.
71,
Like 1970 and after.
Okay.
But I try to stick to like the later years, 68, 69s, and I really like the oval window bugs because that's what everybody's looking for. And it's like a different design on the roof. This is a 68. It's a 1200, 4-speed. Runs. Solid car.
So you got the Grateful Dead sticker on the
Yeah.
back there. My dad, people say my dad looks like Jerry, you know, the lead singer for the Dead.
Oh, yeah.
But I personally, I've had friends with Beetles before.
They're not a high dollar car.
Well, I don't want to say that.
gotta
It's
be
just,
a Beetle
it's just
guy.
my
You gotta be a
family.
Beetle- yes.
My family was not a Beetle.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't wake up as a kid and see Beetles in my backyard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It didn't work
It wasn't
out
like that
that
around here. I don't know where this cat got it from.
Yeah. I just like
I don't hate them or anything like that. I think they're cool, but to me,
I'm American muscle.
I'd have a Chevrolet tattoo on my hand.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah. I like the whole idea of being air cooled too. No antifreeze, all air cooled.
Yeah, I just don't know a whole
You know what
lot
gets me?
about that.
The engines are at the back and they're air cooled.
Like, yeah, you think
How
you
do-
get the
how
air
does it not
from
run hot?
the front.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably why they switched to water cool after a while.
But other than that, they're sweet little cars. Tops you're going to get out is about 50, 60 mile an
You know
hour.
what? I passed a Volkswagen bus on the highway back from Tennessee the other day, and it had a big old sticker on the back that said "Pass with caution, classic car," and it was only going
Yeah.
like probably 55
Probably had
miles
the
an hour.
floorways on.
Yeah, but dude, you could tell that dude was loving his life.
Oh
though.
yeah, just enjoying
Smile
every
on
minute
his
of it.
face, old dude, only
Yes.
guy in the thing.
Hippie.
Dude, he had the whole thing packed like he was just going across America, and I was like, dude, that is awesome.
That's what it's all about.
That is awesome.
And they're a blast to drive. I had a 70 Baja Beetle, and I drove that to town. It had the Stinger 4-speed. It was
Head
done
turner.
up. Yeah, it was a head turner.
The
I
Stinger
had
exhaust?
absolute
Yeah,
blast
straight
in these
up.
cars.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're very fun.
Yeah, I've come across a few Myers Maxes before.
Oh yeah,
and, you
I
know,
love the buggy Meyer
A lot
Maxes.
of people have a Beetle sitting in the corner somewhere, you know, and
Yep.
you see a lot of them. But I just personally have just not. I've never made any money off of one, so it's not like anything. I'm sure that if I
catches
bought, if I bought one and sold one and made money on it, I'd be
It
like,
catches
oh,
your
I need to know what to
attention.
look for, you know.
Yep.
But you know,
Stick to what you know.
to each their own. Yeah, awesome. Well, let's see if we can get this thing outside here.
Yeah.
It's not. It only weighs about 50-some pounds, but
That thing is cool.
I'm glad to see it going to you, Parker.
oh, I appreciate it, guys.
No problem.
We're hitting something
I
here.
thank you coming up here and taking the time and
Well, I mean, I've known you guys before I had the channel and everything like that. I've never met you guys before, but
Yeah.
we've been in communication before.
Yep.
And I've always said that we'll link up. I don't know if it would be numbers matching because in '69 the numbers were on the block and on the car. So, but that would have been a 350 block that could have came in this car. We'd have to run the numbers on it, but I'm not sure if that motor's numbers match or not. Does your dad know? Or
That's a 400.
oh, that's a 400 in there.
Yep.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, you could probably put that block in this car, and also it doesn't have the right heads on it. These wouldn't be the right heads for a DZ or anything like that. So I'm just gonna say it's probably not the block to that car, but it would work for that car if you wanted it to, being a 350 and a super sport 350 car. So pretty cool stuff.
Mm-hmm. That right there is a Jaguar with a 350 in it.
A police officer used to own
Yeah, a
that.
police officer used to own that. He was getting ready to restore it.
Can we open the hood?
Kind of lost interest. Yeah, we could. I think it flips up, Parker.
I have no idea how to open a Jaguar. A lot of people make fun of me because I say Jaguar. I put a video of an XK120 up the other day, and they were like, it's pronounced Jaguar. Well, where I grew up, I don't think Jaguars ever existed. But
Yeah.
they didn't drive by my house.
No, me either.
Oh, it's got the...
Tilt front end.
I think it's a Corvette engine, how the manifolds are. I think it's a Corvette 350, because look how they ram.
Oh, yeah, an early Corvette. No, I see that. Yep. Oh, you are right.
It's something you don't see every now and then, a 350 and a Jaguar.
Now, is this for sale, or?
Yeah, he would probably sell it.
It's not something that I would be interested in, but if someone was interested on the channel, how do they get a hold of you, or?
Well, if you want to, I can give you my number, or if you want to put it on your channel, that's
Whatever
Okay.
you want to do with selling
whatever.
it.
I don't know how you go about.
Even if you want to make some money off us.
Yeah, if you
Oh,
want to
we'll
make
get a price
no,
off
I
it?
don't. No. A lot of people, I don't. Your guys' cars, they just call you and come pick them up. I don't need to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You could get a hold of me at 717-636-8496. And that code?
Yeah, the
Yes.
63R code. Yeah,
That's what I was telling you about. Yeah.
that's the one that everyone. That's the only Galaxy, in my opinion. Now I'm
That's
probably wrong. There was probably some race cars out there. Someone's gonna comment and completely,
I
completely
like the
tell me.
64s, you know, with the hydraulics.
Yeah.
So that is pretty cool, you know. But it's just something that ain't for me.
How much are these?
He told me $2,500 would take them both
Oh, both of them.
with titles and all the brand new interior.
And they're
Okay.
complete cars too. They have motors, trainees in them.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, let's get this mini bike loaded up. And you said you got another stockpile of stuff. We'll go
Yep.
kind of take a look at. I appreciate your guys' time.
Oh man,
Hey.
I'm enjoying this.
Absolutely. See out here, we got the Nova first.
Yeah, this was my cousin's Nova. His dad passed away on a motorcycle about a year ago, and this is something he wants to redo for him, like, you know, a tribute for him to get it all restored. And he had no place to really park it at his place; it'd be on the grass. So I said, "Well, bring it here, and you know, we'll get you in the garage."
We got the
sometime."
shop, the tools for him, so he wants to
Sev-
tinker with it.
72?
Yep. Yeah, he slowly wants to work on it and get her fixed up.
Yeah, it looks like a. Would you ride it like this, or would you?
Me personally, I'd ride it like this.
Oh, me too.
Yes,
I would be.
I'd show you some wide tires there in the back.
We'll take a look, give you a view of the outside of it here. Is there an engine in it right now?
Yeah, there's a 350.
The 350. I like the orange with the cream two-tone.
Yeah, it's
Small
something you don't
block
see
down in
too
there.
very
Yeah.
often.
Yeah, it's still got the manifolds on there. But yeah, I mean, I would. Dude, I've had cars that were painted really nice where I was scared to drive them.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
something like this where you could just
Throw a clear coat
Dude,
over
you
it and
could
run
do a
it.
donut right here in the
And not
driveway and not give a shit.
Yep. Yes.
You know, that's what I like different cars for different things, and this is definitely through the hills and around here that
Yes.
you just have fun with for sure.
Yes, for sure.
And still have the muscle, the old look.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Cow hood on it, I love it.
Yeah.
What truck do you guys got?
I got a
78 Chevy.
See, I'm gonna be honest with you. Oh my goodness. You said a truck, not a monster
Yeah.
truck.
I got 40-inch tires. It's 4-speed. I got a 454.
So time
supercharged.
out real quick, time out. So this is a 78 what?
Custom deluxe.
A custom deluxe. And what does this number mean on the side here?
I really wasn't too sure about that, but I always remember like the C20s and the C30s. I always thought the C20s were the 8-lug edition.
The 8-lug.
Yes.
Oh, okay. It's got
It's like
8
the
lugs on it.
2500 edition.
Gotcha.
Then you got your regular 6 lugs, then your 5-lug Chevys.
Look at this thing, dude. 454 in it, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Now, would that have been standard Or was that added, do you think?
I
or-
think the 454 was factory because you had the 8 lug,
The 8 lug,
the
okay.
Yes.
4-speed tranny.
Okay.
So I think it was factory 454. We never ran the numbers. It was just something that caught our eye, and it was like one of the things where you have to have it.
Was it a good deal or something like
Yes.
that? I totally understand. And it looks like, wow, they did all the pinstriping down the side. And do you mind if I open it up?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh boy, she's clean in there.
They got 2016 Chevy interior in it.
And everything works.
Heated seats. They remote seats work also. They go up and down.
2016, yeah, that is a center console from a Chevy Silverado right there. I see that. Look at the.
That's I mean, it is nice, but it probably would have been better to have the factory
Bench seat.
the bench seat, because
Oh,
everything.
okay.
But up to date stuff, it's all in everybody's perspective.
Yeah, see, to me, it didn't bother me at all.
No,
it didn't bother me at all, but I totally understand, if
Yeah.
that's what, if you guys like the bench seat, I totally understand that. Now, what's this thing making horsepower wise? I mean, with the
I have a
454.
dyno sheet. When they built the engine in '95, it produced 736 horsepower.
Now, pushing these big tires and the big truck, I kind of
It's cutting your power in
cut
half.
the power in half.